Look at this. This is $500. To your bank, this is a joke. If you put this in a generic savings account today, do you know what they give you? A pat on the head and enough interest to buy one lukewarm coffee next year. To your boss, this is barely 3 days of work. It is a bribe to keep you showing up to a job you hate, sitting in a chair that hurts your back, listening to Susan from HR talk about her cats. But to the wealthy, this $500 is not money. It is a seed. Most people look at this bill and see a PlayStation, or a pair of sneakers, or a really nice dinner that you are just going to poop out in 12 hours anyway. But I look at this and I see an employee that never sleeps, never complains, never asks for a raise, and never steals your lunch from the office fridge. If you know the secret code, the specific mathematical sequence I am going to show you today, this tiny $500 bill can replicate itself. It can clone itself. And if you let it run long enough, it can replace your paycheck entirely. Today, I am not teaching you how to save. Saving is for losers who like losing money to inflation. I am going to teach you the art of dividend investing. We are going to break down how to turn a single $500 investment into a wealth-building machine. We are going to expose the yield trap that bankrupts new investors, and I am going to give you the exact framework to build a portfolio that pays you to own it. Put your wallet away. You don't need to buy a course. You just need to pay attention. Let's build the machine. First, we have to perform an exorcism. We have to purge the bad ideas from your brain. Your parents lied to you. Your school lied to you. They told you, go to school, get a job, save your money. Here's the problem. In 2026, saving money is mathematically impossible. Let's say you are a good boy. You follow the rules. You save that $500 in a bank account. Meanwhile, the government is printing money like it is confetti at a toddler's birthday party. Real inflation, not the fake number they tell you on the news, but the real price of rent, eggs, insurance, and energy, is eating your cash alive. If inflation is 4% and your bank pays you 0.1%, you are losing nearly 4% of your life energy every single year. You are running on a treadmill that is going backwards, and you are wondering why you are sweating but not moving. This is why you feel broke even when you get a raise. The system is designed to punish savers and reward owners. If you hold cash, you are a battery powering the system. If you hold assets, you are the one plugging the battery in. So, the first rule of dividend investing is this. Cash is trash. Cash is only good for two things: paying bills today and buying assets that pay bills tomorrow. Everything else must go. So, what exactly is a dividend? It sounds boring, right? It sounds like something your grandfather talks about while he eats oatmeal. But actually, a dividend is the most aggressive flex in the financial world. When a company makes a profit, it has two choices. Choice A, it can keep the money and try to grow bigger. This is what companies like Tesla or Amazon typically do. They reinvest everything. Choice B, the company is so profitable, so flush with cash, that it says, we have more money than we know what to do with. Here, take some. And they send a check directly to your brokerage account. That is a dividend. It is profit sharing. It is the only true form of passive income. Rental properties? Not passive. You have to fix toilets. YouTube? Not passive. You have to make videos. But dividends? You literally do nothing. You wake up, and the money is there. But here is where beginners get slaughtered. The moment I say passive income, I know what you are doing. You are opening Google. You are searching for highest dividend stocks. And you are going to find a company, let's call it Trash Can Incorporated, that promises a 15% dividend yield. You think, Ryan, look, if I put my $500 in here, I get rich fast. Stop. Slap yourself. Do it now. This is the yield trap. Yield is like a date's profile picture. It can be extremely misleading. Usually, when a company pays a massive 15% dividend, it is because their stock price has crashed into the dumpster. They are paying you with your own money while the ship sinks. If you buy a stock that pays you 10% in cash, but the stock price drops 20%, you didn't make money. You lost 10%. We are not looking for high yield. We are looking for sustainable yield. We want the golden goose. If you kill the goose to get the eggs, you eat once. If you keep the goose healthy, you eat forever. So, how do we find the golden goose using just $500? We use the income trifecta. To turn $500 into wealth, we need 3 engines working at the same time. Engine 1 is the dividend growth engine. These are boring companies. They sell toothpaste, toilet paper, trash bags, and soda. They do not go to the moon, but they raise their paychecks every single year. Think about a company like Coca-Cola or Home Depot. They have raised their dividends through wars, recessions, and pandemics. This engine protects you from inflation. If your grocery bill goes up, these companies raise their prices, make more profit, and send you a bigger dividend check. It is the ultimate hedge. Engine 2 is the income accelerator. This is where we use modern financial technology, things like covered call ETFs, to squeeze extra juice out of the market. This gives us high cash flow right now. While the boring stocks are growing slowly, these funds pay us monthly rent. This is the engine that keeps you motivated because you see cash hitting your account every 30 days. Engine 3 is the compounder. This is the magic. We do not spend the money yet. We take the pennies we earn from Engine 1 and Engine 2, and we buy more shares. It is like the movie Gremlins. You get them wet, and they multiply. Now, disclaimer, I am a cartoon character on the internet. This is not financial advice. I am barely qualified to tie my own shoes. Do your own research. But if I were building this machine today with my first $500, here is the exact framework I would look at. I would look at the foundation fund. Something like SCHD, the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. This is the king of dividend growth. It owns 100 companies that have paid dividends for years and have strong cash flow. It pays a yield of about 3.5%. Now, I can hear you screaming at the screen. Ryan, 3% is low. That is only $15 a year on my $500. Shut up, I am not finished. The magic of SCHD is that it grows the dividend. If you owned this 10 years ago, your paycheck from it would have tripled by now without you doing anything. Next, I would look at the cash cow. Something like JPQ, the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. This is the modern weapon. It owns big tech stocks, Apple, Microsoft, Google, but it uses a complex option strategy to generate cash. It typically pays out roughly 9 to 11%. This is your heavy lifter. This is the engine that eventually pays the rent. It floods your account with cash now. Finally, I would look at the real estate mogul. Something like Realty Income, ticker symbol O. They call themselves the monthly dividend company. They own 13,000 properties. 7-Elevens, Walgreens, FedEx facilities. When you buy a share of O, you are technically a landlord. But you don't have to evict tenants. You just collect rent. It yields about 5 to 6%, and it pays monthly. If you mix these three concepts, you get a blended yield of about 6 to 7% with growth potential. But now comes the hard part, the math, and the patience. Here is the roadmap to wealth. To get to a point where you are truly wealthy, let's say making $2,000 a month in passive income, you need a portfolio value of roughly $340,000. WHOA Ryan, you said turn $500 into wealth. I don't have $300,000. Relax. You do not need it today. You build it. The $500 is just the key that starts the car. Let's look at the timeline. Level 1 is the crawler. You invest your first $500. You get excited. You add $100 a month from your paycheck. At a 7% return, it takes you a long time. Too long. This is why people quit. They don't feed the machine enough fuel. They treat investing like a hobby instead of a survival strategy. Level 2 is the walker. You invest your first $500. But you get serious. You cut the stupid subscriptions you don't use. You stop buying $7 coffees that taste like burnt dirt. You contribute $500 a month. Now we are cooking. In 10 years, you have nearly $100,000. That pays you $600 a month forever. That covers your groceries. For the rest of your life. Think about that. You work for 10 years, and you never have to pay for food again. That is a level of freedom most people never taste. But then there is level 3, the sprinter. This is the Ryan method. You start with $500, but you treat this like a war. You realize that your job is not the goal. Your job is just the funding source for your freedom. You get a side hustle. You drive Uber. You sell your old clothes on eBay. You maximize your income, and you contribute $1,500 a month. In 10 years, you hit roughly $300,000. That pays you $1,750 to $2,000 a month. Boom. You are done. You are barely in your 30s or 40s, and your rent is paid. Your food is paid. Your existence is free. Every dollar you make from your job after this point is just fun money. But wait, there is a villain in this story. The tax man. If you do this in a normal brokerage account, every time you get paid dividends, the IRS takes a bite. 15 to 30% gone. Poof. That slows down your snowball. It is like trying to run a race while someone is actively tying your shoelaces together. If you want to reach wealth fast, you should consider doing this inside a Roth IRA. In a Roth IRA, you pay taxes once when you put the money in. But inside the account, the dividends grow tax-free. The capital gains, tax-free. And when you pull the money out in retirement, tax-free. It is the only legal way to give the IRS the middle finger. Use it. Now, I need to address the psychology of this. The first year of dividend investing is going to suck. I promise you. You will put in your $500. You will wait 3 months. And you will get a dividend check for $4. It is underwhelming. It feels pointless. You will look at that $4 and think, I could have bought a taco with this money instead of investing. This is the valley of despair. This is where 99% of people quit. They want the Lamborghini immediately. They don't understand the snowball effect. A snowball starts small. It is the size of a baseball. You have to push it. It is heavy. It is cold. It is annoying. But as you roll it, it picks up more snow. The surface area gets bigger. Suddenly, it is the size of a beach ball. Then a boulder. Eventually, the snowball becomes so big that it rolls by itself, crushing everything in its path. That is your portfolio. Your first $500 is just the center of the snowball. The first $4 dividend payment buys you a fractional share. That fractional share earns its own penny of dividends next time. Then that penny earns a fraction of a penny. It is slow at first, but it is exponential. The system wants you to be a consumer. It spends billions of dollars on advertising to make you feel insecure so that you buy things you don't need. It wants you to see $500 and think new TV. I want you to be an investor. I want you to see $500 and think freedom. I want you to see $500 and think that is $2.50 of passive income forever. The journey to wealth starts with the first check. It starts with the first share. It starts with the first $500. You do not need to be a genius to do this. You just need to be stubborn. You need to look at the volatility of the market and not care. When the market crashes, the dividend investor does not panic. The dividend investor celebrates because the yield just went up. Stocks are on sale. Don't let your $500 die in a savings account. Send it to work. Give it a job. Build the machine that builds you. If you want to know exactly how I automate this process so I don't even have to think about it, how I split my paycheck automatically so the investing happens while I sleep, you need to check out the pay plan system I broke down in this video right here. It is the system that feeds the machine we just built. I'll see you there.